them say, there's no telling where the guys will take you. Get ready for a spoiler. Won't say it twice, cause we already warned you. Better watch out, it's gonna ruin the plot. Real spoilers. Real spoilers. Real spoilers.
Broadcasting from the lush but not lavish studios located in the basement of the O'Keefe Institute for Advanced Film Snarkitude, this is Real Spoilers, episode 866.
867? No. Okay. Nope, sorry, that's my bad. I skipped a week.
Don't question
That's
me.
my fault. I'm the
That's
one
on
who's out.
you.
That is on me. I know.
Don't you ever,
Don't ever question
me again.
He's never gotten the number wrong.
We've done 866 of these things, and you should know by now to never question me.
Tom just does a tally. Actually, he
actually gets them tattooed.
He tattooed, right?
Yeah.
So he looks down. He has to count.
Like,
all
I gotta tell you, though,
Like Zaz and
Yeah.
Batman.
Well, there was a tattoo with hash marks here that are not there anymore that I had covered up. So maybe don't do that.
What were the hash marks for?
Years of marriage.
Oh, okay. Did not realize you had that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't.
What'd you get covered? What is
A lightsaber.
nice?
yeah.
Okay, sweet. See, I mean,
Picture of Calvin peeing on hash
Yeah,
marks.
feeding on hash marks. The guy was like, I was like, can you just put like? He's like, I like Cade's lightsaber from the Star Wars games.
yeah, man, those games are great.
Yeah,
I told
and he
you,
was
they're
just kind
good.
of like, yeah, I could do that. And I was like, all right,
Matt started
do it.
playing them too, and he's like,
They're
I
great.
played them. You told me they were good. I'm like, I told
They're
you.
dope. 1 and 2 are both great, but yeah, that's what that is.
He's got truck nuts on the other arm.
I do. Yeah, it's flip it over
He had truck nuts tattooed onto his actual nuts.
on my nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and they're pierced and just hang down.
Yeah.
That's well, you know,
And his-
as you
and
get older. Kevin.
Then he had a trailer hitch tattooed onto his penis.
Well, it's actually on my back.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, glad to be back.
I have a
gentlemen.
tramp stamp of a trailer hitch on my back.
That's why you couldn't get an epidural.
That's right.
Yeah.
See, Paul Harris is great, but you don't get this with Paul Harris.
You
Well, you
don't.
can't.
You
We
don't.
can. He just won't respond.
Yeah.
because he's an adult.
You would just hear him. He would be doing the Dan groan. It's the same.
I think it's from years of radio. It's still ingrained to him. And like, you can't talk like that in front
Yeah,
of a microphone.
right.
In front of a microphone.
Sure we can.
Guess what, motherfucker?
Yeah. Welcome to the new world order.
That's right.
Have you ever heard of a little guy named Howard Stern? Ask him about it.
Maybe don't now. I guess he made enough money that he's fine.
What?
Yeah, I think he's going to be okay.
He's
No, he renewed his thing.
I thought they kicked him
No.
off.
No, he faked. No,
That was all a
the
stunt.
publicity. Yes.
that
That's,
was-
do you know how many people were talking about it? And did anyone act?
That
I mean,
I honestly thought, I was like, you know what? He's been at this
I mean,
for
he's
so
in-
long.
he's in
like
his 70s, like,
Maybe
but
he
he'd
would.
be so bored without
He
that
would.
show.
Oh,
His
yeah.
wife would kick him out of the house. Like, you know what I mean? Like he has that show because he loves doing it, and it gives
It's
him.
his entire personality.
Absolutely.
Right?
is.
Like,
Like,
yeah.
if he's not Howard Stern,
Yeah.
what is he? You know?
Just a guy.
Just a guy.
Doesn't he do like a
bunch of money?
X Factor or something? He for a while he did the voice.
Oh, he was
one
on
of
one
those.
of those shows.
He was
from
on The Voice?
No,
No,
like
it was
one
like
of those.
America's Got Talent
Got
or
Talent?
something.
Yeah,
like
he was a
that.
host on one of those shows.
Oh, I don't even
Not the
remember
host,
that.
but he was a judge.
No, I'm sorry, a judge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, anyway, Smashing Machines.
So, this is
Yeah.
going to be an hour of wrestling and UFC.
Yeah, I'm
references.
issuing a challenge to Joe to make it through this episode with no wrestling references. Can you do it?
I don't know.
Can you do it?
I will
What about the
try.
martial arts that this guy does for takedowns? Can he mention any of the moves because they're in the movie specifically, or
that all
Those-
allow. 'cause
those aren't
that's- 'cause
wrestling
That's
moves,
not
though.
wrestling.
he took wrestling? He took them. They did like
Yeah, but that wasn't like hitting him with a rock. See, you almost got me to do it.
you-
Huh?
Almost. I
Couldn't
almost
even
did
make
it.
it.
5 seconds.
I almost did it. 3 minutes.
Long
3.5
No, but
minutes.
since the
But since
challenge
I
is
issued-
issued, yeah.
Before I issued the challenge doesn't count.
That's fair.
And even if it was 5 seconds, it's still longer than I would have thought.
That's
So
me too.
That's
Yeah.
what I hear.
So before we dig in shameless plugs, don't forget we're available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeart, TuneIn, wherever you find a podcast, you can find us. While you are there, be sure and follow us so you never miss an episode. Maybe leave us a review. That is super helpful and greatly appreciated. You can also find us on the Facebook, facebook.com/Real Spoilers. While you're there, like the page, join the group. The group, say it with me, it is called the League of Show Sharers because we are hoping you will share an episode. People who were kind enough to share an episode last week include Ralph Tribble, Librarian Cynthia, Brendan McGuckin, Glenn Cougar, Mellon Brewer, Jason McLean, Ron Johnson, Tammy Lynn Powers Betts, Michael Tonkovic, Chris, Magic Man, Travis Tewitt, Gabriel Lugo, Richard Krotzer, Matt Reedy, Tom Dowdy, Heather Sachs, Taylor Ward, Kevin Brackett,
Hey.
Colby Mack, The Real Pete, Edit Photo Gamer, Cinema Recall, The Kryptonian Orphan, Kay Margit, Mike and Oscar, Ryan Terry, Geek to Me Radio, Nostalgia Cast, Ronnie Castle, Matt Naglia, In Session Film. So thank you very much. We greatly appreciate that. And also don't forget, we have a Patreon, patreon.com/Real Spoilers, where for $5 a month you get all sorts of bonus content. Eventually we will do the Blues Brothers. I think that's on Tuesday. We're recording on Tuesday.
Recording on Tuesday.
So it should be out in about 6 weeks. And
Just in
Remember
time?
when I asked for an episode to edit over a month ago? I said,
Hey, man.
And you said, oh, we have one in the
Life-
can. I said, okay.
Life
never
happens.
happened.
Yep.
This is complete
Yeah,
fabrication.
you're just making.
I
Kevin's
said,
part.
okay, I'd like to have one to edit.
Kevin, quick gaslighting.
Yeah, I love the way he's Kevin, who does a tremendous amount of work for the show.
Yeah, he does.
I'm not lying. And is like, hey, I like
and
more
we're saying
work.
that because we're scared to death if he were to stop.
Yeah. He's
So-
like, hey guys, I could use more work, and we're like, can you though? Can you use?
I
more
don't
work?
want it, but I know how it works. If I don't start editing these, and I got to do 2 in 1 week,
That's
it's going
fair.
to take a minute.
So we will finally get to that, and then we can move on to things like Night at the Roxbury.
What is love?
Just biding our time to MacGruber.
Yes, that's the last one, right? I think it is.
Yeah, I think
Oh,
that's
is it really?
I don't
so.
think they've done one since then. Yeah.
Wow.
So
Do you count the Please Don't Destroy guys
No.
movie?
no, because they're not
SNL
based on SNL
characters.
characters.
Oh, okay.
So it's got to be
Got
an
it.
SNL, not because if that's the case, I mean we got to do
Hot
Ghostbusters.
Rod.
Yeah.
We got to do like
Okay.
Animal House.
Got it,
like,
got it, okay.
Yeah, it's got to be based on SNL character.
Yeesh.
So now there are SNL movies that are out there that I think that we like.
Warrant a discussion.
Well, I mean, like Office Space, technically an SNL movie.
Was Milton?
Milton
Yeah.
started as a cartoon on SNL.
Oh, weird.
Bob Roberts, technically based on an SNL character. Bob Roberts originally appeared in a sketch on SNL or a short film on SNL. There
didn't know
is a live action Mr. Bill starring Peter Scolari that Showtime produced in the early 80s.
Is there really?
Yes.
Oh.
So
I was
there-
a little disappointed that you guys didn't mention Jim Downey on last week's episode.
I didn't realize until
I didn't realize
after.
He was
After
the
the
old guy
fact.
in the Christmas Adventures
Yeah.
that like was with him most of the time, like at the end. That's Jim Downey.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah.
Oh. Huh.
Yeah. Thought that was great.
Yeah.
I was just listening. I'm like, I don't think they said anything
Nope.
about that.
Sure
Yeah.
didn't.
Anyway, but yeah,
So,
he's great.
and then while we're in shameless plugs, a shameless plug for past host,
Yeah.
co-host Dan
Yeah.
Graney,
Oh, yeah.
who
That's-
has
that's
teamed
cool.
up with Jim Hill,
Who's been on a few of our episodes
who has
as well.
been on a few episodes, who's a Disney podcaster,
Aficionado.
blogger,
Historian.
expert, yeah.
Yeah.
And he had a podcast called Marvel Us Disney, and I guess the co-host of that show had passed away, and that show had been laying dormant for a while, and Jim and Dan got to talking, and Dan is now, they've resurrected that show.
awesome.
And so Dan is hosting that. So
It's really cool to see Dan as the co-host of Jim Hill's podcast.
Yeah.
I was like, that is awesome.
Yeah.
No, and he's a fount of information. Both of them.
absolutely.
Yeah, both of them have a vast knowledge of all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, so you should check that out wherever
Yeah.
you get your podcasts.
Yes.
And then also don't forget we're on YouTube. Subscribe and smash
Smash it.
buttons and things like that. So
I also did a guest spot on the Nostalgia Cast.
Okay.
They just released the episode. It's a comparison of Tombstone and Wyatt Earp, two very similar movies. One very much longer than the other.
yes,
I'm a Tombstone guy.
As well, you should.
I think
be.
everyone is.
Yeah.
That's such a great like popcorn movie.
That's exactly
Western.
it.
It's just
It's
so
a.
fun.
We talked about it a million times. It's a moment in Wyatt Earp's life where the other one is Wyatt Earp's life.
Yeah.
No thanks. Yeah.
And then Tombstone's just so endlessly quotable too. And
Yeah.
Val Kilmer, I mean, he steals
Yeah.
the show. in
Dennis
that.
Quaid tried.
Mm,
Failed.
So anyway, there's all that. Let's dig in, shall we?
This movie sucks.
This is a really weird movie in that it's really well made. I think it's really
It's
well acted.
Benny Safdie.
But
so it's like
but I was just like, why does this movie? Like, so
Do you know anything about Mark Kerr going into it?
I was first off shocked that he never got a sponsorship deal with Sharpie. I mean, his name is literally
Mark
Marker,
That's
right?
hilarious.
It's just right there.
Right.
Why wasn't his nickname Magic?
Because he
Magic
was
Marker.
smash your face.
Because they all have been beaten in the head, and they
So
can't
bad.
think of the obvious nickname,
right.
Magic Marker.
I didn't know anything about him either. I mean,
So I knew nothing.
Okay.
Not a thing.
Yeah.
Not a thing. And I feel like one of those kids at a rave, like if the beat never drops.
yeah.
Because I watched this whole movie and I get to the end and I'm like, why did this guy get a movie? Like, I'm not trying to be a dick.
Nope.
And like, look, I mean this in the most sincere way. Because this is based on a true story. So
Absolutely
when
it
you
is.
say things, you're talking about somebody's real life.
Right.
So was I rooting for a murder-suicide? No, I was not. Did I think there was one coming?
Sure did.
Absolutely, I did.
I knew that Mark was still alive,
Yeah.
but I did not know about Dawn.
Well, I
Emily
also
Blunt's
have
character.
to kind of wonder. I mean, is this told from his perspective, where
I
he
will
makes himself
say,
out to be a saint
No,
and she's crazy
no.
pants?
So
I don't know.
it's not.
Okay.
She is so the whole part about him going to rehab,
Mm-hmm.
but her still she was a supermodel. I think she was either a supermodel or like a high profile model that lived that party lifestyle. So
Okay.
that whole scene where he's coming home and he's
She's been out.
she's
partying.
been out and he was like, hey, like that's true.
He's
like
sober, yeah.
yeah, he's like calling his sponsor and like so
Yeah.
their relationship was tumultuous. They don't talk, which is so weird. They do say that they get married. They get divorced not that
So
long.
6 years.
They said 6 years in the movie.
I guess that's
They
true. I
got
guess it
year-
does say-
6
They had a
years later.
kid and got divorced.
Got
6
divorced
years
6
later.
yeah. So the interesting thing that I always find about this world, right, is this guy, the real Mark Kerr, was at Foxcatcher. He like with if you know that story, like he was there. He,
Oh, was he?
Oh,
Yeah.
he was one of the wrestlers
Angle.
on that team.
Mark Kerr, what are those the two brothers, like that Foxcatcher had like just the talent at
Tons
that
of people you would know.
you would know. Kurt
Because
Angle,
he was throwing money. He was
Oh,
buying. He was trying to buy himself an Olympic medal. Yeah.
and that's what he was. I mean, and then Kurt obviously goes on to win. But Kurt
Yeah.
Angle tells stories. This doesn't count as wrestling because he was an amateur wrestler before he was a professional wrestler.
I feel like
he's
this
like-
is a technicality.
It is.
Yeah.
But he tells stories. He's like, that guy was one of the most gifted athletes I've ever seen. He's like, both of them went back and forth. Something happens and Mark's, basically it's like a coin flip that if this thing doesn't happen with Mark Kerr, he goes on to win the gold medal, but
Wow.
Kurt goes on and does it. So
Interesting.
they don't talk like he's a decorated champion. He's, you're going to tell me that guy's not on steroids. I'll call bull because he was 300 something pounds, like
Yeah.
fighting these guys. But I think for the most part, the weird thing is in 2002, there was a documentary called The Smashing Machine.
Yeah.
And this is the same. It's just scenes from the documentary,
Yeah, well, but sometimes that works. That underwater one.
the underwater one.
Remember the one, and you might have been gone,
I
but I
don't
told
think
you
he was on that one. Woody Harrelson. They're on a submarine.
the guy
Oh,
is
Simu
underwater
Liu?
for like for like 12 minutes for real, and that really happened. That was a documentary, and they basically remade it, and
Yeah.
it was so both of them were excellent. Like they did a great job. But the thing that's weird about this, like this feels like it should be one of those 30 for 30s or something, like in a documentary format. I think it's an interesting story to shed light on a guy that was very early on, took a lot of hits for very little money, never quite got the respect, and now they're making millions on deals. And he was the foundation of that, but he never got.
He's
to
also
enjoy
he's
that.
also the foundation of the UFC of
Right.
mixed martial arts. Him, Mark Coleman.
Yeah,
who
like he
was-
does a lot of UFC stuff that you never see in this
They
movie.
mention it one time.
Yeah.
that he's fought in a cage, and Mark, The Rock is like, and
Yeah.
okay, and
So-
and that's the thing is like that the sport. The sport used to be, if you go watch UFC 1, it's like, here's this tiny little guy and he's gonna fight this giant dude, and the little guy's gonna win.
Yeah.
It's like,
Which
so,
shows you that different martial arts, techniques.
that was the whole
it's not
point.
just size. It's like, well, maybe this martial art's better than this one.
that was the whole point
right?
of the UFC. And then as that organization progressed, you'd have a guy like Hoist Gracie who comes in and starts doing jiu-jitsu, and nobody can figure him out. So then they start to, it's Bruce. This is so weird. I did not mean to get this deep. Bruce Lee is technically like the grandfather of mixed martial arts. Bruce Lee would take kung fu, karate, and these different things and kind of put them all together, made Jeet Kune Do. That's what the UFC is now. You've got guys that can box, guys that can grapple, guys that can do jiu-jitsu. There's all kinds of different stuff, and they all put it all together to make one big thing.
Like Kurt Angle and Brock Lesnar were in the UFC, right?
Kurt Angle was not. Brock was.
Who was I thinking of that was in the... I thought...
Batista.
Batista was a UFC...
So Batista fought in mixed martial arts. Bobby Lashley. You tricked me. You tricked me.
I'm talking about UFC. I'm talking about wrestlers.
Yeah, but I wasn't allowed to talk about wrestlers, but you tricked me. CM Punk.
Wasn't difficult.
Well, CM Punk after wrestling.
And then,
Ken Shamrock, did I say his
Ken
name?
Shamrock was there.
That's what I meant to say. Who did I say?
Kurt Angle.
Okay, Ken Shamrock's who I meant.
Ken
was
Shamrock
UFC,
was a
and then-
legit, like...
Said gorgeous George.
So here's the thing I've been trying to grapple with.
Hey.
Oh.
But like, I think the movie was okay. Would I ever watch it again? No. Performances, the way it's filmed, I love how gritty it feels. Like it's filmed with like handy cams on the outside, right? Like, love the way it looks.
The whole movie's building up to something that never
doesn't
happened.
That's
Doesn't
what I'm
happen.
saying. That's the problem. Is this
Yeah.
is not based on the amazing true story. This is based on a true story.
Yeah.
But the story isn't anything where you go like in the end, like, oh, that was so triumphant. He won. He did this.
Or
he,
like Iron Claw, where you're like,
Or
oh my god,
terrible,
this is
it's
horrible.
tragic.
Or even Warrior.
Yeah.
Warrior, I think, was a better movie at
Warrior's
this, where it's
great.
like you've got these two brothers that are...
But that's a
fighting.
story, right? That
Kurt
is a
Angle
story.
is in that movie.
Oh, okay. But that's a story, right? Where it's like it comes down to it, and you have these two brothers, and they have to fight each other. It's like boom, that's the climax, right?
Right.
This movie just never. I mean, Tom said it perfectly. It just builds to nothing. And while I think this guy deserves recognition, I know he took a beating for very little money, and now guys like they say are making millions of dollars of deals.
But
and
like
now,
that's true of any new sport that establishes
A
itself.
sport that
You go
was
back,
as violent.
go back and look at the guys on the tobacco cards for
Sure,
baseball,
baseball. Yeah, right.
and
They're
see
not-
how much they were
they're
making.
not
Like,
making 30 million.
yeah,
year
like I
deals,
mean, it's
totally.
unfortunate, but I don't know a way around it. And I don't mean to be like, oh, those poor fight promoters, they're the real victims. I mean, they're pretty much all dirtbags.
Yeah.
And so, but at the same time, like he even says he does it because he loves the crowd cheering for him. So,
Well, it's- I mean,
and I will also say, it seems like based on how he was living versus
He
how
was living pretty well.
how Mark Coleman was living.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like for where that sport was at,
He was
would-
making good
He
money
was in the
for-
top 2% of earners.
Absolutely. Well, and also he was in Japan,
Yeah.
and Japan does their pay differently, and he was
like
making...
wrestlers, right? They go to Japan to make some good money.
You can get wrestling.
I'm
this
talking
isn't-
about
this isn't
Japanese. It's
fair.
different.
This isn't fair. You son of a bitch.
But Japan will pay very well
if
for
you-
American
Yeah, I mean,
athletes to.
we'll stick to just Kurt Angle.
Yeah.
Kurt Angle, could go over to Japan and wrestle 3 matches and make, half of what
Probably
he
his
would,
salary. Yeah.
if not half of what he would make in a year over here, right? Their special attractions
right.
are over there because Brock Lesnar is a freak of nature.
The UFC fighter. We're not talking about wrestlers. Brock Lesnar, the UFC fighter.
Right.
Got it.
But I mean, like, if you look at that guy, he's a genetic freak.
Right.
And it's probably some performance enhancing drugs involved. But the guy is a 2-time NCAA heavyweight champion. He is a multiple time. He made a whole bunch of money in the WWF, left the WWF, and then goes to the UFC and wins their
And kicks
championship.
some
it's
ass,
like
yeah. He's the real deal.
You don't get to, you come into this organization, into the UFC as a wrestler, a professional wrestler, and they're like, okay, let's see what you can do. And then he knocks people out, and they're like, oh, maybe this guy is the real deal.
Yeah.
And Kerr is Mark Kerr, Mark Coleman.
I knew Mark Coleman's name for whatever
Yeah,
reason.
you would. I mean,
I didn't know Mark Kerr, but for some
Boss
reason.
Boss Rutan's another guy that's been around for a very long time who plays himself in the movie. Like
Any
that's,
relation to Boss Hogg?
I don't think so.
Boss Hogg.
No, I think they're from 2 different parts of the
It's a
world.
fair question.
Um,
Is he related to a fictional character?
Yes.
I don't think that's a dumb thing to ask.
you don't think so?
No, I don't.
But yeah, I mean, The Rock, we can now understand why he put on so much weight and why he got bulked up so big, right? He bulked up for this movie. As soon as this movie was done,
I'm glad to see him finally taking care of his fitness.
I mean, honestly, that's dangerous.
The Rock is always so big though.
But you remember when he like
Oh, I
the
remember.
last,
That's what I mean.
The
He's
last
gotten
the
so-
last year when I'm assuming when he was filming this movie, he was massive.
Yeah.
And
Now he's
you
trying
look-
to be Batista.
Now
He's
you look
slimming
at
down
you
to
look at him
take
now,
roles.
and he's just kind of like, I gotta stop that.
But I think, The Rock. Okay, so The Rock sees what other wrestlers have done. John Cena doing very well for himself.
Absolutely.
Batista doing excellent for himself, and The Rock just keeps making action movie after action movie. And he realized, like, if he wants to be taken seriously, he's got all the money in the world.
Yeah.
He doesn't need the money. If
But
you want,
he used to do this. He used to do these
when he was starting,
He pivot.
he
Well,
would
when
do these smaller art house movies.
he did the Scorpion King, and then he was doing like the Rundown, which is highly underrated.
Rundown's
is
great.
It's
great.
so good.
So fun.
But
But
then
Be
What he
Cool.
was, yeah, Be Cool.
Be
I was
Cool
like
is the one.
Get Shorty,
but
not
then
a
he
sequel.
pivoted to like family stuff.
Pain and Gain was another one that was a little bit
And-
more artsy.
When the family stuff starts to like, all right, this isn't working. He does a movie called Faster, not Fast Five,
Right,
just
right.
Faster.
Yeah.
And that's when he starts doing Be
San
Cool's in there
Andreas,
somewhere.
But then he starts doing all the action stuff, and I get that it pays really well, but I think he really wants to be taken seriously as an actor, and you can't do San Andreas and Rampage and all that and be like. I mean, you can make a lot of money, and he certainly has, and sell tequila and all that. But this is the type of movie that's going to get him.
He has
acclaim.
followed the Schwarzenegger blueprint. I mean, that's what this is. If you look at the Rock's,
Kindergarten Cop. All
yeah,
that.
twins.
Yeah.
But then he pivots, right? Then he does something like not Collateral, End of Days, or whatever that 9/11 movie was. That's not really a 9/11 movie.
End of Days sounds right.
End of
Or
Days
End
is one,
Days,
but
something like that.
but there was another one that starts with like a C.
okay.
And then, he ends up retiring because he's old. But like
It
he
was,
does this movie,
Kerminator.
The Kerminator. That's
Kerminator.
correct.
Yeah.
Very interesting. But he does a movie like Maggie, where it's like this small little thing where he's like a dad with a zombified daughter. So
Yeah.
if you look at the
It's
Rock's
redundant, but go on.
correct, yeah. Especially now. If you look at the Rock's career, that's what he did. He just followed that blueprint. Where I think Batista would drop little like big he's in the Skyfall but then he would do that I Spy movie.
Yeah.
But then he would come back and do Blade Runner, and he would do
Yeah, I think
different stuff.
Batista's been the most successful, like as in being the best at acting.
I thought that until I watched the most recent season of Peacemaker.
Well, no, John Cena's excellent. That's what I'm
It's
saying.
Dumb.
He's
It's
amazing.
dumb how good he has gotten.
I was watching the last episode of Peacemaker, and I'm watching his performance, and I forgot I was watching former wrestler turned actor John Cena.
You
Like,
knew that was
he
supposed to be
is-
Batista, right?
Yes, I did. hear you.
James
But-
Gunn wrote that Peacemaker character for Batista.
And I know we would never know. And I know Batista's good, but I cannot imagine anyone else in that role now that we've
No.
seen Cena do it. But he's so good. The point is, he is not like, oh, that's a wrestler trying to act. Like John Cena has it. Right. And I used to think The Rock did because he was so charismatic, but he pigeonholed himself into the same movie, the jungle movies, right? 4 or 5 movies where he wears the same outfit and goes in the jungle. Like, it's just like he just did the same thing over and over. And this is his chance to try to, get back into the art house and do that type of movie. The only problem is, like, this movie got a lot of festival buzz, but they always do.
Right.
Sure.
He's not that great in this movie.
No.
He's fine. I think he's good, but his performance, I never went like, oh my God, Dwayne Johnson has got like
He is lost in the role.
Yeah, it's just like, well,
I
that's
forgot I was looking
Yeah.
at
There was a moment. I'm trying to think of when it was.
I was surprised how different he looked when he shaved his head, but just had the little patch.
He
on his
looked
so
chin.
different.
He looked like a totally different
So
person.
different.
That's the scene. There's a
Yeah.
scene where he's doing like a promo for a picture.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm not even sure that's the same guy.
It was really weird.
Like,
I thought the same thing. I was like, oh, they're shaving his head so he doesn't have to wear a wig or whatever, and he's gonna look like The Rock again.
But
And
no,
I'm
I mean,
like,
Mark
oh.
Kerr does shave his head, and
Yeah, but it's just
all-
amazing how he didn't look like The Rock with a shaved head like that.
He definitely had something on his face.
Yeah, for
to
sure.
make him look
Yeah.
different.
But he was good in it. Again, I wouldn't watch this again.
There are no performances in this movie that I would be like, this is
We're
it.
just like, that was amazing. It's like,
Emily
ah.
Blunt needs to figure it out. I mean,
Okay, but Emily Blunt's character is a whole lot of nothing.
Right.
I guess that's true.
They have a fight at the end of this movie, right? The big fight.
Yeah.
And she says, "You don't know anything about me." And it kind of like stops him in his tracks, and it was like
Me either.
None of us do.
Yeah.
Literally all I know about you is you date this guy.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
the only thing. I didn't even know she was a model.
Yeah, they don't.
Until
They
you
don't
said it.
They don't tell you
They don't tell you
any
anything
info.
about
Yeah.
it.
So so I'm like, yeah, like literally know nothing about. All I could think the whole time is Heidi Gardner on SNL used to do that character where she's like the girlfriend of a
Yes.
of a Boston boxer or whatever, and she's like,
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
not
yeah,
gonna
yeah.
watch you die, Jimmy.
She does
I'm
the
not gonna do it.
She does that one, and then she does the like the overbearing mom.
Yeah.
But that the Boston girlfriend boxer one is
Yeah,
also
and I
very
was
funny.
just like, I'm like, this is Heidi Gardner.
I thought Emily Blunt was fine in this.
There are no
I like her in
performances-
dramatic roles. I've said before, I don't like her in the Jungle Cruise
Yeah.
Oh, I think-
comedy.
see, that-
I don't personally. I think this
she
is.
is deceptively funny,
Yeah.
and it's not like if The Devil Wears Prada. I think she's insanely funny, but she's not trying to be. You know what I mean?
Yeah, she's just really catty. Like it's a different kind of funny than joke. I
Yeah.
don't like her in the Banter, like Jungle Cruise Banter one, but like I mean, Quiet Place, she's really good, and I think as a dramatic actress, she's really good.
Edge of Tomorrow.
She's a badass
She's
in that.
great in
She's
that.
great in Edge. I told
Yeah.
that to Katie after we watched it. I like her in Edge of Tomorrow. I like her, and so I'm glad to see her in this role. It's not her fault, but again, that character is very underdeveloped. It's just
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that they. I mean,
she's girlfriend. That's all she.
Yeah.
She's the guy's girlfriend.
I'm honestly surprised she took the role.
I think that they must be buddies.
Well, yeah, that's true. After Jungle Cruise and that,
You know what I mean?
It's fair. Yeah. But and she probably wanted to work with the Safdies, and like, which I
Sure.
get. But I'm just like, but like
oh, the Safdie.
Safdies.
So
just
I
Benny.
do
Yeah, that's
wonder,
They've got the other guy's got a different movie coming
and
out.
I
They're
wonder
kind of
if
doing their own.
I wonder if that's gonna suck. You know what I mean? Like, not that this
like the
sucks.
Cohen thing when
I
they went
do
their separate
wonder,
ways.
you know,
Sometimes it's like they put each other in check, right? Like
Yeah.
you have the two brothers, the two co-directors, and together they are enough to balance it out into this great thing.
Yeah. Did you guys end up watching that Chris
didn't.
Evans, Maggie, whatever
Mm-hmm.
the guy that the brother that did the really bad
the other Cohen,
the other Cohen?
the Honey Don't.
Yeah.
No, I did not see that.
Did you see that?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
But that last one, he Driveway Dolls.
Driveway
was
Dolls
so
was
bad,
garbage.
Yeah.
and this just looked like Driveway
Looked
Dolls
like the
too.
next
Yeah, I
one.
was just wondering. I
And I
didn't
was
know.
just
Maybe
like, I'm good.
they were just like, "Hey, reel it in, bud."
Yeah.
And I like Chris
But
Evans.
I mean, I think that happens a lot. Like, I mean, famously, Groundhog Day, right? Like Harold Ramis and Bill
Oh,
Murray
sure.
fought like crazy on that set. They didn't talk to each other for years.
The movie's great.
But like, because Bill Murray's like, I thought we were making a drama
Mhm.
and something more grounded in reality. And Harold Ramis was like,
Which is just a ridiculous thing
I
to
thought we
think.
were making like a wacky comedy.
yuck jokes.
But that fight between those two things, instead of making a movie that didn't know what it wanted to be,
Right.
it like perfectly walks this line. And so sometimes that happens.
Yeah, and I you know, I think Kevin, you've got a point where it's like sometimes if you're a sibling creative team, you know, this one sibling goes this way, this one goes this way, and for whatever reason, just they work together. But
Yeah.
as soon as you take them apart, it's just like, you know.
Well, because again, they keep each other in check, and so if the Coens, if one wanted to do something and the other one's like that just won't work, and the other one wants to do something, he's like, oh, that won't work. Well, when they leave, they do whatever they want,
Right.
And so maybe that was good that they kept each other in check. I
Yeah.
think that's what, and not to say it always has to be like that, but I think a lot of times when you're a team so long, they don't even realize they're doing it, right? Like they don't realize, oh, there's no one here to
Yeah.
tell me no, and then
I don't
It's
think
like Lennon McCartney.
yeah,
Right?
yeah, exactly.
It's like they both have great songs on their own, but like McCartney without Lennon sometimes gets a little cute. Like he gets a little show tune.
Yep.
You know? And
Yep.
just like, and I think Lennon was like, hey, remember when we were in a rock band? And then he made it a little bit more rock and roll.
Yeah.
But then I think sometimes McCartney was like, okay, maybe you're just being weird for its own sake.
yeah,
How
right,
about
right.
what if there was a hook? What
Let's
if we
reel it in.
What if we had a melody? What if it wasn't 45 minutes
Sure.
of Yoko screaming?
Here's the White Album. Congratulations. And I was thinking about the Russos in this, where it's just kind of like, boys, you better just stick together.
Yeah.
Just
Well,
stick it
they're even,
together.
you better stick
Maybe
together
you
with
stick with
Marvel.
Kevin, yeah, you better stick with Kevin Feige.
because we've seen what they've done without it, you know.
Bad news bears.
Yeah, Tom Holland and a mustache. We've seen that.
Chris Evans in a mustache.
Yeah.
Yeah, must
Also
have a thing
bad.
for mustache.
Don't
maybe.
put that in-
Yeah, which is fine. Like, that's fine.
So this is what, like 3 years? Of
Yeah, I think
Mark
it says
Kerr's-
97 to 2000.
Okay.
And
Which is cool. I like that, where it's like you don't have to see him as a kid or anything. Like this little slice.
no, I mean he did
Like
have
that?
he had I wouldn't say rough upbringing, but it was a little, you know, he's a boy, and he would get into trouble, and finally I think he ended up moving. He moved away, and then he grew up and got big, and then he came back and started wrestling, and wrestling was basically his life. Like that's what he did. He wrestled in college, and then that's where he met Mark Coleman, who I think was older. And this one is played by Ryan Bader, who Ryan Bader is a legitimate badass. He won the Ultimate Fighter in the UFC.
Oh, okay. Cool.
He was the whatever the other organization, not the UFC, whatever the other one is.
Okay.
He was their champion for a very long time. Like, he's a legit
Pin ultimate fighting.
That's right.
I thought this guy was a good actor, though. Ryan.
This is his first time
wow.
acting.
Because I thought he was maybe someone from Mark Kerr's story or something at first. I didn't know he was going to be playing
No, he's Ryan Bader.
another character,
That's
right?
Ryan
So when
Bader,
I first saw him, I'm like, this guy's really good.
Yeah, he was. I mean, I don't think he was given.
He didn't have to do a whole lot of heavy
No,
lifting,
but-
but he was. But with what they gave him, he did a good job.
It wasn't just like, oh, he's big and strong but can't
Yeah.
act. Like, he did good.
And he was definitely older. He said he was a few years ahead
Yeah.
of him, because that's also part of like, he doesn't have as much time left to win things.
Which I think is an interesting, like, when you're telling an autobiography, we talked about this with the Page movie, the Fighting for My Family. When you're telling a story that has video archived footage that you can go online and look at,
Yeah.
you can't stray from the truth. You can,
I mean,
but
you
it's
can.
but
Nobody's
it's
gonna arrest you.
useless, right?
Yeah.
So I think the more interesting story is Mark Kerr versus Mark Coleman. Like, that's the more interesting story,
Yeah.
is that, and
but
then-
that's what it was like.
But
I
you-
thought, well, that's going to be the
I
build
was
up.
like-
They have to face each
Yeah,
other.
I'm like, oh, okay, it's not a murder-suicide. Oh, but these two are going to have to fight
That's
each other.
Warrior.
And they're
it's
gonna.
like,
that is Warrior.
oh, we're not doing that either.
So when it didn't happen, and I get it, like, he got in his head, I think this is more a story about how people can be toxic. That his eventual wife, girlfriend, is not good for him. They are not good for each other.
Right.
But sometimes people make bad decisions and they just can't stop whatever this attraction is to each other. But she was clearly very bad for him. He was like going on to do big things in Japan and then trying to win this championship and this money. And like from that very first moment when she goes to Japan, and like, it's hard because, like, yes, he was not very nice or friendly to her, but he also has to go beat the crap out of someone. And I get to be in that mindset of be like, oh, hey, sweetie. Like,
I think they kind of drop a hint in the opening scene when she is making his smoothie, and he looks at it and he was just kind of like, oh, did you use whole milk or whatever? And she was like, no. And he was like, he was trying to be very nice about it. He's like, nope, that's on me. Like, I didn't tell you that I changed the diet or whatever. And just the way
This is where I think the Rock is giving a good performance, because as soft spoken and
Mark Kerr is legitimately very soft spoken.
and it is like nice as he is, right? Because he does seem like a really nice guy, but there was always, in my opinion, like a rage
underneath. Yeah.
underneath it, and my interpretation was he knows he's a big, giant, scary looking monster, and so he's overcompensating to be like, hey, you don't have to be scared of me. It's okay.
He had to talk to her almost like you would talk to a kid, like an adult talking to a
When
kid.
he was like, oh,
But
this upsets my tummy. I was like, ew, don't say that.
But
Gross.
he talked to everybody like that, right? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, when he's on the phone trying to con the nurse into giving him a prescription, like that's how
talking to the old lady in the doctor's office.
it's how he engaged with the world of like, you don't have to be scared of me, even though I'm fucking 9 feet tall and 700 pounds.
I think that is the more interesting story, right?
Yeah.
I think
which is also why I thought we were building to this, like, the dude's gonna
Explosion.
snap. and like, because I even said to Crystal, like, about 20 minutes in, I was like, I know nothing about this story. I don't know where we're going, but it's not somewhere good.
Yeah.
And then it turned out we weren't going anywhere at all.
Yeah.
I don't even know if, oh man, it's so hard because you look at a guy like Aaron Hernandez, who was an NFL player who famously, got sentenced to life in prison or whatever for murder and then killed himself in prison. And they look at his brain and they're like, yeah, this guy's, like he was using his head as a battering ram.
Yeah.
And so I do think that it's hard to tell a story sometimes where CTE is a thing.
For sure.
That's why I don't think you'll. This is why you'll never see a Chris Benoit movie, or a Chris Benoit story, because he was doing things to his brain that normal people do. He's taking chair shots to the head.
It is hard to make him tell the story where that guy
is the hero,
is the victim.
Oh,
right?
100%.
Right? Like,
yeah.
And but on some level, I mean,
without knowing about what CTE is,
Right.
right? What he did to his head was pre-CTE. As much as we knew a little bit, right? You know,
Yeah.
you got your bell rung, whatever.
Right.
We didn't know that it was
the long-term effects. Like,
Right.
You think like, oh, once you're kind of better and back to normal, you're better and back to normal, but
Yeah.
not so
Not
much.
so much.
And because it's a brain trauma, like it's not like, oh, if you broke your arm, it's going to heal like
Yeah.
this, and here's what we need to do. Like everybody is going to recover differently or be impacted
or
differently.
not recover.
Or not recover.
I've
Yeah,
had 7 or 8 concussions, and I still have from my most recent one.
And look, we know one day you will kill both of us. Like,
on camera.
Yes, like, well, I mean, if you're gonna do it on camera.
do it on camera.
For the
Right,
clicks,
yeah,
you know.
right,
But
correct,
But
correct.
we know that this is what our future.
But
entails.
I mean, like,
I'll be out that week. Let me know when you're playing.
I'm not going to tell you. I'm going to try to get guests too. But I still have issues, like, to this day. The last one was 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Like, I still have stuff.
But this guy, so the sport had obviously taken a toll on him. He was very addicted to painkillers. That's one of
yeah.
his big struggles throughout the film, is him trying to do the mixed martial arts and balance that with his relationship.
So was the reason he was undefeated because he was so high on painkillers he couldn't feel that he was getting punched?
He was legitimately beating people left and right. That fight with the Russian guy is like the beginning of the end.
Yeah.
So he gets Pride is the Japanese fighting company, and it used to be no rules. Like,
Yeah.
you know,
Because
That's
you
what it
see
seemed
them,
like, yeah.
you see them like adding rules. And from what I read in my extensive research, i.e., Wikipedia,
yeah.
the one Wikipedia article I read, like those, and this movie doesn't really explain this very well, but those rule changes that you see in the movie, like no knees to the head when they're looking down, and no headbutts and no eye gouges, those were specifically directed at Mark Kerr.
Oh,
Like,
because
there's-
I did see him putting his fingers
He
in
made
someone's
a guy
eyes.
tap out one time by getting him to the ground and literally shoving his chin into somebody's eye socket, and just pulled this guy's face into his chin,
Yeah.
and made him tap out.
Yeah, well, and I was like, am I seeing this right? Because when I saw him do eye gouging, I'm like, how on earth could that be legal? And then they implemented those rules. I'm like, oh, crap, he was
Yeah.
really gouging someone's
Well,
eyes.
I mean, this kind of fighting, doesn't this evolve out of like the old barroom brawl
Basically.
fights that they used to go around
it's
doing?
even crazier. It's crazier now because not only do you have the UFC, which has very set rules. You can't, like, if a guy has at least one knee on the ground, you can't throw a knee. You can't go to the head. You can't do like a 12-6 elbow, which is like straight down.
Okay.
You can't do that. Pride, I don't know that Pride is still around. This is where I kind of, but you've
Every
got
June.
Yeah, that's right.
Every June.
That's right. As well,
Yeah.
it should be.
Yeah.
That should be celebrated all year.
Yeah.
But you've got it's a slap fight now,
Yeah.
where it's like, what do you, but then on top of slap fight, you've got bare knuckle. The bare knuckle for these dudes are just throwing hands.
Yeah.
You know what I saw the other day?
No,
Pillow fight.
that
There's
doesn't sound that bad.
professional pillow fighting where the guys.
Is there a crowbar in the pillow?
No, it's
Oh.
they are dancing around like
says
boxers.
This says a lot about Kevin's algorithm.
Well,
Seeing pillow fights on my feed.
Katie found it on TikTok and showed me.
Even
so,
better.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations.
Yeah.
You have chosen wisely.
It's not women, it's men.
Yeah.
It's men
Hey,
with
look,
pillows.
we know. Katie found it.
But,
we know.
but they're like swinging around their pillows and dancing around like a boxing or wrestling ring, and they're just smacking the crap. But that, like, okay, that's fun. That looks more fun than the stupid slap fights. Like,
They talk about how when Mark Kerr is in the infancy of this thing, it is barbaric. Like,
Yeah.
the government was trying to shut them down.
Yeah.
that's why I give you that line in the waiting room with the old lady. Oh, that's that thing they're trying to stop. And like, I
Yeah.
thought that's a good way to drop exposition. And
And
Yeah.
where we are in that world now, I mean, they're gonna fucking fight on the White House lawn. Like that. Seriously,
Yeah.
that's where we are.
have you ever seen Idiocracy?
Yeah.
We are living in Mike Judge is
You got
a
it.
prophet.
This is going to replace dodgeball in 5th grade gym
Yeah.
classes.
Yeah, right. I'm gonna teach my kid how to, get her into like Brazilian jiu-jitsu just so
Yeah.
she can defend herself.
So we see Mark Kerr fighting in Japan at Pride, and he's making good money, and he's got this relationship, but clearly they do not work well together, and there's like this animosity. She comes to Japan for a big fight, and then she talks to him in the locker room as like he's trying to get ready.
I agree though. I agree with you. Is like she's kind of like chirping at him, and he's like,
She's so narcissistic.
Yeah.
She's like,
Come
she comes in
on.
and goes, why aren't you wanted me to come here and you're not saying hi to me. It's like, dude, he's about to get ready to go kill somebody.
In fairness, her name is Dawn.
I think the more interesting story here that I don't think they even touch on is anybody has the capability to beat somebody up. Maybe not Tom.
No, I mean, I don't know about me, but
But like this guy, not only does he have the capability to do it, he wants to do it.
yeah,
He wants to get out there. He
Yeah.
wants to pummel these people. I think that's the interesting story.
Yeah.
Where it's like, this is what he does. He enjoys getting out there. And
Yeah.
but he does, even in that first fight in Brazil, he beats the shit out of that guy. And as soon as they ring the bell, he stands
over.
up.
He's nice.
And
They
he
take
was like, "Hey, is he
pictures or
okay?"
whatever.
No,
Yeah.
no, that's the
okay.
Russian guy. But
Yeah.
he's like, "Hey, is he okay?" And you see that in the UFC where,
But he turns that off after the fight. That's
Yes.
the point.
Right.
Don
As soon
can't
as
come
the-
in and be like, "Hey, schnookums."
Right. As
and
soon as the-
he's
as
sitting
soon as
there like
it's over.
focusing, like, I'm gonna go kill this guy.
his traps
Yeah,
are about
and she's
to
like,
explode.
"Hey, why aren't you saying hi to me?" And it's like, I get it. I get that he wasn't very nice and friendly, but like, she probably shouldn't be in the locker
Kevin
room.
won't let Katie talk to him before the podcast.
Yes,
Correct.
I'm like,
He's like,
I got to go out there and just
I
crush.
gotta
this.
do it. But I think you see this sometimes in the UFC. I will refer to this one thing. St. Louis native Adam Sella was on the Ultimate Fighter, and he takes one of the most vicious knockouts to this day I've ever seen. Guys, he's fighting a guy named Uriah Hall. Uriah Hall throws this spin kick, and he connects with the side of Adam's face, and that poor dude looks like he's something out of a Looney Tune. He just locks
I'm
up
sure.
and falls.
Yeah, you see those knockouts.
But the look on Uriah Hall's face was like, I'm really sorry. Like I didn't mean to hit you that hard. Like
Yeah.
and
I
people
don't think
people are
most of
telling him,
them-
they're like, don't say sorry for hitting him that hard. But like, he's like, I'm so sorry.
But most of these guys aren't trying to kill the other person, but they are trying to win.
They're trying to win.
I mean, that's
any-
the game.
Knock him out, knock out or tap
Right.
out. Like
so we see who he is, and he does seem like a good guy, but he is in a lot of pain because then it goes, he's back in the States, and he's going to the doctor, and he's
Shooting
like
like
looking at all the medicines he's got there, and then he really quickly goes back and is like, "Hey doc," and they're talking, and later on we see him driving around, and he's calling the doctor like Tom said, and he's like, "Hey,"
that Advil scene is kind of funny.
yeah, in
Where
Japan,
it's
where
just
they're,
the guy's like, no,
they're not giving out
Yeah.
narcotics there.
He was like, would you like an Advil?
Yeah.
They're passing them out like candy.
And it was funny, yeah.
At the Draft House, they showed a bunch of Advil commercials,
Oh,
like old, like the original
good.
Advil
Yeah.
commercials. Thought that was pretty funny. Yeah, and that's kind of this movie is just like, it is linear, right? It does go through the 3 years in the right order, but we are just like jumping from thing to thing.
Yeah.
So it'd
It'd be hard to watch all three in real time. Three years
Well,
in
I
real
mean, like it does. If you watch, it felt like to me,
Yeah.
he was picking moments out of the doc and was like, I like this moment, and I'm gonna reshoot that.
Makes
I like
sense,
this
yeah.
moment, I'm gonna reshoot that. So the cohesiveness of this movie is a little weird to me because, like you said, Tom, they're not. You think they're gearing up to something,
The whole thing feels like it's building up to a great
fight
tragedy
or something.
Yeah.
Right.
And then I think when the tragedy doesn't happen, I was like, oh, we're pivoting to it's all been about Mark Coleman versus Mark Kerr.
Right.
And then I'm like, but then no.
Nope.
And then it's like, and here he is buying groceries. The end. Thank you for coming.
Well,
Yeah.
the tragedy really is that he let this woman get in his head that caused him so much trauma.
See, I think that's what I'm gonna.
And then he froze out there in the ring and was having flashbacks to their fight and
Yeah.
all the terrible things.
I don't know if that's true.
I mean,
The fight,
the guy's in the movie, so I presume that
the fight does
Yeah.
that all. I'm just saying like what was going on in his
I know,
head.
but the guy is the
I
real
mean,
guy's in the movie,
the-
so like you'd think that.
yeah, I mean, the only source for that could
That's
possibly
true.
be him.
Yeah.
I mean, you
So-
could make it up, but again, like if he's trying to, Benny Safdie is clearly trying to tell this guy's story and talk about how great he was, and it is tragic that he never got bigger than he was in that little period of time. But you would think that he's going to try to be as honest as possible and figure
Yeah.
out what was going on in that guy's
I
head.
think he even tried to get into the WWF.
Oh,
I think when honestly when Kurt Angle gets in
that would
and
make sense.
and
yeah.
is as wildly popular and as good, he is one of the greatest professional wrestlers. Not only, I think he's one of the greatest professional wrestlers of all time, but he's also a decorated Olympian, a decorated, collegiate athlete. I think a lot of people who did amateur wrestling were like, well, I could do, it's fake.
Right.
I can do that. And it's like,
If you can do the real stuff.
can you? I don't know. I don't know. Because you have to have, you know, even in the UFC now, back in the old days of the UFC, you didn't have to have a personality. You'd go out there, punch a guy in the face, and you'd walk back to the back.
Right.
That's your
That was it.
personality.
That's your personality.
Right, right.
But now you got to sell the fight.
Sure.
And you got, you know, you've got guys that, I don't really watch it as much anymore because they've taken a hard right turn. I have no interest in supporting that company. But you have to have guys that can sell a fight. Apollo Creed, while a fictional character, is the epitome of what you want in a professional athlete.
Sure, coming out with
The
the
charisma and the
Living
all of
in
it. Yeah, all of that
America.
stuff.
Yeah.
Selling getting
Yeah.
people butts in the seats. That's what you want to do. And some Kurt Angle could absolutely do that.
some of the greats, Thunderlips, Paul
Also,
Creed.
that guy can take a. Well, I guess he did take a
Well.
short walk off or a long walk off a short pier, as far as I'm concerned. Yeah. So like his story, this, you
Clubber
know,
Lang,
yeah. Oh man. Well, he got his.
Dolph Lundgren, or no, sorry, that's a real person.
That's a
Damn
real
it.
person. Yeah.
Damn it.
Yeah. Ivan
Drago, Ivan Drago, evil Russian.
But like there's a scene where he is high out of his mind, sitting
and
on
we
the
keep
couch.
seeing this more and more, right? So when we go back to their home, where do they live? In Arizona? They're in like
I think
the
they're in
desert
Phoenix.
of Phoenix.
Yeah,
Okay.
Phoenix, yeah.
So he's got this big place, like Tom said. It's a great. I mean, he's obviously made a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, we see him and like he's waking up to go do these drugs, and then Dawn comes out and finds him, and he's just like staring off. He's like zombified on the couch watching TV, whatever. And she's like, "I thought you were gonna stop doing this. It's getting worse and worse." And he's like, "I'm fine," but like she keeps pushing him again because they have this very combative. They're not.
But he even has that moment where he smashes through
Yeah.
that door, and it's like, all right, well, we're getting there.
Yeah.
Like we're on the way.
In fairness, that door was in a really weird spot.
It wasn't a
like
it was like
they-
a kitchen opening.
There's
It
like
shouldn't
this
have had a
open
it didn't
door.
make any
concept
sense.
kitchen with like the window that looks into the room, and then there's this door that opens
I've
and
been meaning
closes
to
right
take
there.
out that door.
Why is
It
there-
opened into like a bookcase.
It's a weird
It was
place for
weird.
a 6-panel door.
Right,
So,
right.
like, I mean, do I agree with his methods? No. But with his inherent instincts for interior design,
Sure.
they're not flawed.
But he
He
does
didn't
take,
have to pay someone to take
he
it down.
does
I
take
mean,
out that bathroom door with great ease.
Yeah.
Just like runs into it and knocks the whole
I
panel
feel
off
like
of it.
I mean I don't know. Obviously, it could very easily be movie magic, but it really did look like he smashed a door.
oh, I 100% believe he
I mean, The Rock
smashed
is
that
very
door.
big and strong, and because he's trying to do this, like, you know, art house. I don't want to say method actor, but you know, he's
I
trying to
think he
give this
absolutely
performance.
tried to be a method actor.
I
yes.
feel like he really smashed that stuff.
Yeah. And also, I think in a movie like this, it helps that he was a professional wrestler.
Sure.
Because he can throw a punch.
Yeah.
And
Oh, and
not,
know how to
and
take
know
a
how
punch.
I was wondering because in these UFC fights, they look like they're really fighting. Like he looks like he's really making contact.
He said, I think The Rock said in an interview, was like, Safdie was like, look, we kind of, I think I want you to throw a punch.
That's why, and I was
he
wondering
like,
if the actors.
I can.
They were like, look, if Michael B. Jordan can do it, and you used to actually wrestle, and so like, man up.
You
I
know
was-
how to throw a
But
punch.
I was really wondering if the guys he was fighting knew they signed up like you're gonna get punched because
Yeah.
it looked like they were punching.
Yeah,
I mean,
I-
it really.
I think so. And I think the bottom line with this movie is it does not build to, it's building to something like you said, Tom,
never
that
comes.
never happens. And when we get to the,
the
final,
beat don't drop.
the beat don't drop.
But the tragedy is that he had so much potential and was so good at what he did.
I think that's the interesting story.
but he just
Is
kept
that-
making bad decisions.
is that but it's tough because every time he does get there, he wins. He is a pride. I think he is a pride champion. He is a UFC champion. He is an NCAA champion. So it's like he won.
Well, the tragedy is not only with his relationship.
I guess that he couldn't sustain it.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he couldn't sustain
Well,
that level of.
He got there by taking a beating, or you know, his body took a beating, and then he had to do drugs for the pain.
Yeah.
And then the drugs got him into making bad choices. So that's the tragedy. That like, what is the cost? We talked about this with him, as not great as that movie was. You know, it's like, what are you willing to
What?
pay?
Oh, him.
What cost? Yeah. the
I gotta
movie.
tell you, that's a divisive movie.
Really?
I've seen a lot of people talk about how they really loved that movie,
Really?
about the message of that movie, where it's like, what will a man do to be successful.
Yeah, I
and-
said on the show, I think that it had a really what they were trying to say.
Yeah.
was really interesting. The execution was the problem.
That
But
is.
but it's the cost, right? You know, like, and I think pro wrestlers do this, any athletes,
Look,
but like
man.
they take a beating, and then you see them at not a very old age suffering a lot or having those brain injuries that cause them to do things, whatever. Look at all those, the Vice. What are the
Dark Side of the Ring.
Dark Side of the Ring. Look at Macho Man and the stuff.
I think
he
that
went
if you
through.
look at the card for WrestleMania 3, like
he lost the challenge, by the way.
you
this
set
pack.
me up for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's- there was
I just wanted to be clear.
But I mean,
if anyone
like-
wondered if he made it.
he's lost like 5 times already.
I think if you look at the people who were on the card, I think it's like 10% are still alive.
Yeah.
And that was 1987.
You can't put your body through all that. And I'm not just talking about the punches and the
That's why
beatings,
these
but-
guys are getting out earlier. You know what I mean? Like The Rock definitely left wrestling.
But look how huge those guys are. I mean, you know it. I know. I mean, even look at how big The Rock has been. Like, those guys are huge, and your body's not meant
no.
to get that big. You
No.
just can't. It can't. Your heart can't support it. And then on top of that, you're jumping off the top of things and taking a beating. And even if the outcome of the match, I don't want to upset you with this, Joe. Even if the outcome of the
easy,
wrestling match
buddy.
is decided,
Predetermined.
You're still
predetermined,
putting your putting
You
your
are
body on
still-
yourself.
So, yeah.
you're getting bloody and you're taking hits and all that
Now
stuff.
imagine
So-
that it's not predetermined, and you actually win money if you win the fight.
I know, and so it's
So you fight even harder.
right.
And
boxing, all that stuff.
well, boxing's fixed, but that's neither here nor there.
What?
Yeah.
So anyway, the point is, in order, his cost was his relationships, was his pain, where he was very addicted to opioids and painkillers,
Way
narcotics,
before
and
it was cool.
It
right.
was,
Yeah.
and so then it was a spiral where it's like in this cycle where he just kept taking the drugs, and they're causing him to not perform well and having to drop out. He ends up dropping out of a huge Pride fight,
Yeah, yep.
which was like a big no-no. I mean, all the fans paid a lot of money to see him in the top of the card, whatever. If I can't remember who the fight was against.
It was a Japanese guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so like it was a big deal, right? And so he had to come back and grovel and ask and apologize to the fans and say, thank you for letting me come back and have his rematch. And that's the one where in the end he ends up just totally checking out. He just couldn't do it. Everything came to a head, all his past memories, his struggles with his relationship and whatever, came back, and he just froze.
And just locked up. And
the
then
guy just-
what they don't tell you is that he fought after that. He fought like
Okay.
I think he fought until like 2003 or 2004.
Yeah.
But he only won like 3 fights. Like,
Okay.
and that's the truth, is like he did not win very much after that. And sometimes that happens. You see guys who were just like this indestructible being, and then they get knocked out.
I think it gets in his head, right?
Yeah,
Like,
you get knocked out one time. The most popular athlete in the entire world, Ronda Rousey, is a prime example.
Oh yeah, she was on top of the world. She
What-
lost that fight.
That's what I'm saying. She
then-
was legitimately
The most popular athlete in the world.
At
Been
the
told.
time.
Been told.
at the time
all
Of
time.
all time. And she got knocked out.
Right, and then
and
she
that was
never-
it.
She tried to do like a couple more
Two,
fights,
I think
lost them, and
two fights, and got knocked out again.
Yeah.
And
Well,
that
and she was gonna pivot to be a movie star, right? They
She
were gonna
was.
they were gonna make Roadhouse
Roadhouse.
with her.
oh, that is her and that Fast and Furious movie where
Yeah.
she tries to be that bodyguard or whatever.
It was not good.
oh,
It was
so
not
bad.
good. But I mean, that's what happens sometimes. Is you get.
But you could tell he needed, it wasn't anything to do with money or the purse or anything with that fight. But when the Russian guy knees him in the head, and that is now against the rules, he had to, for his own mental well-being, had to know he didn't lose that match, because he knows that he would not be able to get over it.
That's that whole scene with him going to the.
Oh, that's like
guys-
that's like a oneer. That like the camera did not cut. It was cool.
Well, 'cause it
he
really
leaves the ring, walks to the elevator, goes up. It was so cool. He went to everybody, the head of the
That really,
organization.
you can watch that in real time.
Oh, there's
that-
a documentary
in
following
the
him?
Smash
Okay.
the Smashing Machine documentary
Yeah.
from 2002. This happens on film.
Oh,
where
that's
he
cool.
was-
So they recreated it.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Or he's
But
like,
I
you know.
love the camera work in this movie is very good.
Yeah,
It's a really well made, well acted movie. It's just a road to nowhere.
it's a road to nowhere, and you'd think that we're going somewhere, right?
Yeah.
And it's and now
But
he.
I still think it's tragic. Like it does end in tragedy. It's just
But
not
you know
the
how it's
big
tragic?
honestly
story.
a lowercase T.
Do you know how it
Yeah,
should
yeah.
end? It should end with him getting the whole.
He's tragic with low T.
low T. Well,
It's the only thing that was low T
when you
about it.
inject it all the time.
Yeah.
And, but
that
he's
scene with the trainer when
with
the
Boss Rutan.
That's a real person.
Yeah, that's the real guy.
That's a real. Oh, that he plays himself.
He plays himself.
Oh, so he's
Oh, that's
recreating
cool.
his heart attack. Or
It
whatever?
wasn't a heart. He has tendonitis,
like a muscle pain that was like.
So like that, which is why he had to retire. Bas Rutten is the originator of the liver punch. I'm not even making that up. He fought in Pride. He was a badass, like another guy who was just like a badass.
Oh, that's cool. They put him in the movie.
And he is an MMA analyst now.
Okay.
He's got a big personality, but he
I could
has.
tell he was when he was at that fight, and then whoever the guy they hired to be next to him trying to deliver lines. That other announcer guy was horrible.
Yeah, you'd think you would go out and try to find the guys who were.
I'm sorry, I don't know who that guy was, but I'm like, there's no way he's an announcer because that was.
But I think he has like tendonitis either in his like bicep and that's why he had to retire.
Okay.
Is because it kept locking up on him.
Gotcha.
I get Charlie horses sometime. I could have relayed. I was like, that is painful. I can relate. So anyway, so that was a great scene though, where they're training and he's like, you know what? You never look where you're gonna punch. You look at them and you hit them here. You know, he's doing this whole thing. That was a good moment. And then all of a sudden, he starts getting this terrible pain. And at this point, Mark is sober and recovering, but he remembers in the training
he left
place,
some drugs there.
There's some painkillers, and so he goes over, gets him. He's like, I promise I'm not using them, because this trainer's putting all his time and investing in Mark, and he has to let him know.
He also, Bas Rutten has told a story where he's like, when I saw him at like whatever the last, he's like, I knew. He's like, I knew he was messed up. I knew his cardio was gone. So when he came to me, it was a Rocky montage where it's like, we're gonna get you back into shape.
Yeah.
And yeah.
So he gives him the drugs, and he's like, how do you fight on this stuff?
So you just get used to it.
But so then
he's like, now I know why you're sweating all the time.
Right. and but that's the answer. Like, we wondered, like, is he doing these drugs and able to take hits and whatever, and it's like he was out there fighting, but because of the pain and his addiction, he's on all these drugs.
Which is also wildly dangerous, which in the UFC, like they
test for all that. You can't.
I think they test some people for it. I mean, John Jones is the prime example. John Jones is a UFC fighter, and they kicked him out of fights because he popped for something.
Okay,
and I think that it's so it's one thing if you're in the WWF and you're doing steroids to make your body. You're a body thing. You're on TV, right? You're not going to hurt someone. Hopefully not.
Right.
Because it's
not truly a competitive environment.
Yeah,
I mean, it's competitive as a workplace.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to be the famous wrestler, but it's not a one-on-one competition.
Correct.
In the way that
you're not
true athletics
hitting baseballs.
Are.
You're not hitting hockey pucks. You're not hitting people. But when you start adding steroids and different things to those combat sports, or even, like I said, baseball, 96 is a prime example of, you put people's lives at risk, especially in the UFC and Pride, when you've got these guys who are, 300-pound men smashing you in the face. Like that's dangerous.
Some even call them a smashing machine. Yeah. So he loses this big fight. He freezes up.
I call him Magic Mark Kerr. That's what I call him.
So before that big fight, though, we talked about earlier that they're about to have this party.
Yeah.
And then everything seems fine, and all of a sudden,
I'm trying to think. So he's drinking again.
Yes.
So we know that he's probably off the wagon somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And she makes some comment, and he was just kind of like, oh, it was about her going to Japan.
Yeah.
And he was like, he's a why did
he's like, why did both these guys call at the same time? And it wasn't to tell you not to bring me to Japan.
He's like, no. And she's like, it was about,
And he's like, you listen to my answering
I've been
machine?
in fights like this where it's like, God, will you just tell me?
Yeah.
Just stop making me guess.
Don't trick me.
Yeah.
But he's basically like, I just need a couple days to figure this out, but I mean, he was right. Look what happens when they're around each other. And he has the biggest fight of his life. That's what he says. And it is for this
$200,000 prize. And the Pride champion. I think this is the inaugural Pride, the belt. Like, this is the first time there's a belt.
And it's like, look what happened last time she went. Like, he's not wrong. And I know she wants to make it about herself. And I know that she cares about him but it's like, he's trying to do this thing, accomplish this major thing. And like, it's not personal. It's just like, he can't be around this. And it's a perfect example. This is what happens, right? And so she goes into the bathroom, locks herself in there.
No, she goes into the bedroom.
Bedroom.
This is, I think, the moment when it's a really brilliant film making choice, because we're focused on him, and all of a sudden you can hear like the beep 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 of a safe, and I was like, oh
yeah,
I know what's in that safe. And he comes.
It's an intense scene.
It's a very intense
good scene. Yeah.
He comes around the corner, and they frame it perfectly where she walks into the door frame and just puts the pistol to her head.
Oh yeah, because she's in the door, but you go in front of the door frame and see it happening in the bedroom, and he has to like
no. You see it from his point of view, right? She's got it. Yeah,
but she doesn't come out of the door. She's in the bedroom. We walk in front of the door frame, and she's about to she puts the gun to her head, and he has to like wrestle her and take it away from her.
And then she runs into the bathroom. And I think in the bathroom they say that she was actively looking for razor blades trying to cut herself.
Geez. But it looked like she was going to take a bunch of pills.
That's what it looked like
in the movie.
This, yeah. Okay. And then he hits that door and like knocks that door off.
He grabs her and doesn't let go of her. And again, that was a good dramatic scene. Both of them were really good. And he's like, I'm not letting go. And he's holding her and everything. So like clearly they cared about each other very much, but there was just something.
Yeah, she gets arrested.
Set each other off in a way.
Not arrested, but like taking.
Well, this is good for her own safety.
Yeah,
she was about to shoot herself, so she has to go get checked out by.
Correct, and that's what the cop says. He's like, he's like, can I see her? And he was like, well, later. Later. So yeah, he goes to Japan. He's geared up for this fight. He loses this fight.
Mm-hmm. It comes down to if he wins this, then he's gonna fight Coleman.
That's where I get a little confused because they talk about the finals, but I'm like, finals are 2 people. Now we've got a bunch of people. I don't know how this works.
It's it's one of those tournaments that goes down, and then it was what happened was if he wins this and Mark wins his next fight, then they'll fight each other. But what happens is he gets the guy gets injured.
That he lost to injures his knee, which is true. The guy does injure his knee in real life.
So really, Mark helped out his buddy by getting He crap beat out of him.
Yeah, he let the guy.
For a moment, I was like, "Did he let it? Did he throw it?"
Oh, sure. Which again,
but I don't think the movie alludes to that.
No. But I was wondering for a moment.
He just allowed this guy to explode his knee on his head.
But like that'd be an interesting development in the plot. Yeah. Like, is this? But so anyway, so then Mark Coleman
ends up fighting the Russian guy.
Gets to skip over this guy that beats Mark Kerr, but then fights in the big final, and then he wins the 200,000.
Yeah. I think Coleman's a UFC champion as well. I'm almost positive he's a heavyweight champion there.
I think so. I think that's where I know him from.
And I think the end of this movie, while I understand it being like he's just a normal dude.
Yeah,
he's just a normal guy.
I like seeing the real people in the movie.
I do too. I'm not worried about that, but he is a UFC Hall of Famer. Like the UFC inducts him into the Hall of Fame, so he does get the credit.
But here's the thing that I think this does pretty brilliantly is like, yes, he is a Hall of Famer. He did make all this money. He was very successful. But at the end of the day, he's shopping at Ralph's and he's a nobody.
Yeah, right.
Where now people are the celebrities.
If that was The Rock at the grocery store, right?
Really freaking out.
He couldn't just go to the line and buy his stuff.
This guy can just go stop. So it's sad because he put himself through all this and he was a pioneer in the sport. But at the end of the day, he can go to the grocery store and he's just a dude.
Yeah.
And that is tragic because if he was doing this 10 years later, he would be a multi-millionaire.
He's a massive star.
Right. So it is
He'd
tragic.
have a sponsorship deal with Sharpie.
He would. Yep. It could have happened.
I honestly think at this last scene, I don't think he knew they were filming him.
Oh, he knew they were.
There's no way.
The way he reacts to the camera, where he was like, "Come on," like
Benny tracked him down and just got some candid shots. Really,
I honestly do think that, because the way he reacts to realizing that there is a camera on him.
Oh, he's a good actor. I like that he talked to the camera.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That was a cool thing.
Yeah, I don't think he knew that he was filming.
That's
him
interesting. I would like to look into that. I didn't think that was even a possibility, but.
He's far enough away. If you look at the stuff in the store, I'm sure he probably knew. But like getting into the car, like he's the guy. The camera's far enough away.
I like that he said bye to us when he got in the car and drove off.
Yeah,
like I just thought that was a cool little.
Yeah.
It's filmed really well. I enjoyed the story, but I was looking for why are we making a movie about this guy? He had to accomplish something or a huge tragedy, like Tom said, and it just kind of. It just is what it is, right? It just kind of exists, and I think that's a shame.
Much like an episode of this show,
it just exists.
It just kind of peters out.
Well, when you've done 800, 800.
I think we've done 1,000, including the Patreon.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we're getting up there for sure.
Yeah.
So.
I said that on Nostalgia Cast, and they're like, "Are you serious?" I'm like, "I'm almost positive that we've probably done about 1,000."
Well,
episodes.
if the Patreon has 100 exclusives, maybe they're not all full episodes, but over 100, that would put us at 966.
Yeah.
Plus, at least with the Review STL podcast, for
saying.
sure, we've done over 1,000.
Two guys, one remote are out there somewhere.
Done a lot of podcasts over the years, that's for sure.
That's right.
So anyway, I guess that's it for this one. Let's go around the table and everyone can say where to find them.
This is Joe. You can follow me on the Twitter at JoeyButts, BUTTS21. Also on Blue Sky, on Threads, on Letterboxd, all at Joey Butts, BUTTS 21. Also, don't forget to check out the Nostalgia Cast. I don't know what episode it is. The most recent episode where we dig deep into the legend of Wyatt Earp.
All
We
right.
have the same birthday.
You and Wyatt Earp?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Congratulations.
What are the odds?
Yeah.
Oh, 1 in 365.
Apparently.
Yeah. Those are
Was that
literally
with
the
a
odds.
leap year?
Me,
Leap year, though?
me,
1 in
Wyatt
3
Earp,
A
and
loop year?
a loop
No,
year.
leap year.
You said a loop
Is that
year.
366?
I don't know, but it's me, Wyatt Earp, and Bruce Willis.
Oh,
Yeah, all of the same birthday.
yeah. You guys should celebrate together.
We should, yeah.
Have a joint party. Save
gotta
money in
tell
this
ya.
economy.
There's only gonna be one of us left for soon.
I think I
Oh.
share. Do I share birthday? I mean, my birthday is. I either share it with Jim Henson or my birthday is on the day he died. I forget which.
Ooh.
Hopefully, it's the first one.
Yeah.
I share a birthday with Elton John, Sarah
Nice.
Jessica Parker,
Well, now I'm gonna look.
Lee Pace,
Oh, okay.
Aretha Franklin. I think that's all the people that I really. Jenny Slate,
Oh, I do.
Oh no, I do share a birthday with Jim Henson. So
Mikey Madsen.
Jenny Slate, I think, is
She's great.
babe.
Yeah, so yeah, we'll be having joint parties.
I have Jim Henson, and then it goes downhill real fast. Stephanie McMahon,
Hey, Hall of Fame.
That's right.
Just inducted.
Going in.
Kevin Sorbo.
All
Oh,
right.
wow, that's
Yeah. Phil Hartman.
That's a win.
Hey.
That's good. That's a
Yeah,
win.
that cancels out Sorbo.
F. Scott Fitzgerald.
all right.
That's
He's not
pretty big.
problematic, is he?
I don't know. He's famous.
I don't think so.
I mean, he was.
Great
I guess
Gatsby?
everybody's probably
Yeah,
problematic
in
at
the
some point.
1920s, everybody was problematic in the 1920s. Like, they didn't
That's
want
true.
gender-neutral bathrooms
No.
in the 1920s.
I
They're
don't
all
think
going to hell.
I don't think they knew what gender was back then.
Yeah.
Just went around calling everybody old sport.
Oh, sport.
Just remember in that book, everyone's old sport nonsense.
Oh, yeah, right,
The Great
right, right.
Gatsby.
Yeah,
oh,
yeah,
old
yeah.
sport.
Linda McCartney,
Oh, okay.
Wait,
Paul McCartney's wife.
but which one is? Isn't there one that people didn't like? Was it the one after Linda?
Well, I think it's the one after Linda that was kind of mean to him.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Lou Dobbs. What is
Lou
the deal?
Dobbs.
He's another like right-wing news host.
Oh, okay.
I'm trying.
Birds of a feather, Tom.
I know, right? Oh, Nia Vardolis.
I don't even know who that is.
That's the lady from My Big Fat Greek Wedding.
Hey.
Oh, okay.
So that's not too
You got
bad.
some. Those
So-
are good.
Well, see us all at our birthday
I
party
gotta
and
tell
follow
you,
me.
Yeah.
when Kevin posts this episode, who famous people do you share a birthday with?
Oh,
Yeah,
tell
put it
us.
down below.
Yeah, that'd be
Us.
fun.
Yeah.
And the comments for
And your
the
social security
engagement.
number, please.
Yes. and
Mother's maiden name.
text,
What street
Just so
did
we
you
can verify your
Yeah,
birthday.
what
Yes.
street did you grow up on?
and then email us
and your pet's first pet's name, please.
email us an outline trace of your your house key. Yeah.
Scan it.
So
Actually,
and
just
you-
post your W-2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can find me on Blue Sky and Threads at Tom O'Keefe Jr. or on Facebook at facebook.com/Tom O'Keefe. You can find the show online at facebook.com/Real Spoilers. While you're there, like the page, join the group. Of course, the Patreon, which we've mentioned, and watch us on the YouTube. So that's it for this one. Thanks for tuning in. And until next time, Lee hides a salt pill in his waistband.
Get ready for a spoiler. Won't say it twice, cause we already